A lot of times after practice, guys will stay at the field just hanging out for, sometimes 4 or 5 hours after the game. That's something that didn't really happen too much on some of the other teams in Europe that I played for.
It's a way to travel Europe and keep playing, and that's what I've loved about the experience. It's been fun, and it's opened up doors.
Hi, I'm Thomas DiBenedetto. I currently play baseball with the Valencia Astros here in Spain. Baseball has always been a big part of my life. Back in 2008, I was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. Played about 2.5 seasons in their minor league program before getting the opportunity to come over to Europe and play in Reggio Emilia, Italy. Played 1 season in Italy, and I then actually returned to the U.S. Briefly with the Baltimore Orioles. Following that, I actually decided to start pursuing a master's degree in sports management at the University of Florida. And I've been fortunate during the summers since starting that program to play here back in Europe in Spain. Last year I was playing in Bilbao, and this year in the same league but with the Valencia Astros.
When Thomas was in college and playing in the summers, as some of our other sons have, there was always a lot of fun going to these small towns where he was playing, whether it was in college or in the summer leagues he played in. And in a way, it's similar here in Europe, where we get to go to some towns that we would never have seen otherwise. He's learned a lot from having the experience and interacting with people from other parts of the world who have a similar passion that he has.
Hi, my name is Parker Swindell. I'm originally from Santa Cruz, California, and I'm playing on the Valencia Astros. I probably started playing when I was 4, I think. Same as most kids in the U.S. who started playing at a young age. I played junior college ball in California, and then I went out to North Carolina, where I played 2 years at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. After finishing there, I took a little bit of time off, see if I wanted to continue playing. Didn't sign anything professional, so decided to come out here and play. I played here 8 years ago. When I was in high school, I came over here and lived here for a semester, and in my time here, because I was still playing in high school over there, I looked for a place to play when I got here and came across these guys, and so I just kind of kept in touch with them over the years somewhat, and when I decided to come back, I reached out again. The language is a big difference. The game's different. It has a much more Latin American influence than the game in the United States, at least to the level I played in. It can be tough getting on a new team anytime, anywhere you are, even if you all speak the same language. And so, if you don't speak the language, it's that much harder. My Spanish was rusty when I got here, without a doubt, but being able to speak it at least and get better with this helped me a lot. I don't know. There's a different, little bit of a different style of playing, but like I said, it's the same game.
Well, I was one of the founders of the club. We got together with various players. We got together and we decided to start a new club, and we wanted to have a team name that would sound nicely both in Spanish and in English. And one of the guys said, "Hey, why don't we call our team the Astros?" And, all right, it sounds good. Our team has a mixture of many different cultures, and then we have the Americans, and there is a different style of play in each country, and I think the mixture is positive. As a coach, it's positive, to make the most of each different culture, the way that each culture understands the game. It's a thrill for the American players to be able to play in Europe, to get to know a new culture while playing the game they love. Even in Spanish, when somebody's going to call for the ball, they say, I got it, I got it, I got it. Kind of, the accent's kind of different. I got it, I got it, I got it, instead of I got it, but whatever. It's an international game. I mean, we say balls and strikes in Spanish, and hit and run. We say it a little bit different, hit and run, we say, but it's hit and run. So there's not really that many differences.
But it's nice. The culture is, it's different. Back in the U.S. and then here in Spain, it's a little different. But we are happy, to have Parker and Thomas here in the team.
And it's good to have two Americans here because, like a Blaze say, we're trying, the baseball here in Spain is trying to get better and better. And with the Americans and Venezuelan guys and Dominican guys, Cuban guys, the baseball is getting better here and getting a good level. And we can practice our English too with them. We can keep talking, and we getting better relationship with them too. And they bring good energy to the team. And it's good to have those two guys over here with us.
We practice our English with them, so I think I don't think it's a problem. It's good for us and good for them too, just to learn, Spanish and English.
So we spend here a lot of time practice and then in games. So we made a good relationship. And then when we hang out, it's like a friend. It's like a good relationship between us.
Yeah, especially here, in our team. Doesn't matter where you're from. It's just we trying to put the team together, even outside of the field.
I wouldn't say it was much of a culture shock for me. I've been here a couple times before. I actually lived here in Valencia when I was in high school for about the duration of a semester, I believe it was. And at that time I was going to public school here. I was living here without my parents. So I was somewhat acquainted with the culture, but the funny thing is I didn't like it then. I'm not from a big city. I'm not used to although many would say this isn't a big city, it's big for me. And so it took a little getting used to. That time around was kind of rough, and this time around I've really loved it. Living here is great, honestly. The food's great, the people are great. It's pretty much paradise to live on the beach, and you get to go walk. I get to walk across the street, and I'm on the beach every day. And yeah, it's like a vacation essentially. For me, it is a little bit easier getting around, being able to speak the language. I was essentially taught Spanish or spoken to in Spanish as a baby by my parents. I went to bilingual schools growing up. I was in a heavily Latino community, and I was pretty much surrounded by it and didn't use much English in my everyday life until I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. Most people can get by with English, but if you speak Spanish, obviously it's a million times easier. And because of that, you kind of get to take advantage of the social aspect more than you would.
Valencia is, in my opinion, one of, if not the best European cities you could ask to play baseball and be able to live for a summer. I've been able, fortunately, to experience Europe for a few years in some different settings, different cities, see some different cultures. I have to say that Valencia is probably the nicest and most fun city that I've been able to experience. I bike around almost go every day after practice, just for an hour or so, just with no real plan, just whatever it might be. I might get a coffee, snack, something to eat for dinner.
Gracias. It's good stuff.
My Spanish is far from fluent, but I do work at it and try and, you know, learn what's necessary to get by. You know, if I go to a restaurant, a train station, you know, I can get around.
Posible cortar más pequeño.
And, you know, it helps to have your phone too. You can quickly Google Translate a word or two if, you know, you want to learn how to say something real quick.
¿Cómo se dice? Watermelon? Sandía. Posible cortar más pequeño. Gracias. See? Not bad, right?
You know, it's really been a privilege to be here in Valencia this summer.
Soak up some oil. It's good stuff.
When I got here, it was nice to actually have an American practicing, playing with me. And, it's actually the first time I've been on a team in Spain with like a real American. I think there's only like 3 total in the league, so to have 2 of them on our team is pretty convenient for me, I guess.
I was here for 2 months before he got here, and so yeah, I mean, once he got here, it was nice to have somebody speaking the same language. But
I'm sure we'll cross paths again in the U.S. You know, if you want to come over to UF for a football game, just let me know. I got an air mattress for you. It's queen size, blows up real nice. Great amenities too. Nice pool.
that's good.
Can get you in the gym over there.
Nice job.